West Asia is tense as Israel has vowed to push ahead with its planned assault on Gaza's Rafah city. Israeli Foreign Minister has put out a condition to suspend the offensive. Well, during an interview to an Israeli media outlet, Israel Katz said that if a deal is secured to release Israeli hostages held by Hamas, then a planned incursion into the southern Gaza city of Rafah could be suspended. Take a listen.
The release of the hostages is the top priority for us, the male and female hostages. If there is a deal, we'll do a deal. And if there will be a deal, we will halt the operation. We'll do whatever is required to bring the hostages back.
Although it is important to note here that despite Katz being a member of the Security Cabinet, he is not a member of the Narrow Forum War Cabinet, which is overseeing the Gaza offensive. The comments made by the Israeli Foreign Minister, it comes after Hamas said that it was studying the new Israeli counter-proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza City. Hamas said it would give its reply in due course. According to a senior Hamas official, Israel's offer was in response to a proposal from Hamas 2 weeks ago. The official did not provide any other details or information on what exactly was in Israel's offer. Now, this comes as Egypt increased its efforts to secure a deal between Israel and Hamas. A delegation from Egypt was in Israel trying to jumpstart stalled negotiations. Egypt's Intelligence Office Director Abbas Kamel led the delegation that arrived in Israel on Friday. Egypt is expected to table, and I'm quoting here, a new vision for a prolonged truce in the ongoing war. On the other hand, Qatar, which has also taken the role of a mediator to negotiate the truce between Israel and Hamas, Doha has now expressed its frustration over the failure to achieve a truce, as it blames the two sides for it. In an interview to an Israeli media, Qatar's advisor to the Prime Minister and spokesperson for its foreign ministry, Dr. Majid Al-Ansari, said, and I'm quoting him here, that every time we get close to a deal, every time we find new ideas to present to the table, there is sabotage which takes place. And that sabotage is in the form of statements or actions that, of course, impede the message. Unquote. Well, talks are also being held in Saudi Arabia at the World Economic Forum Summit, where dignitaries from Arab nations gathered in Riyadh to discuss the situation in Gaza. Speaking at a special meeting of the World Economic Forum, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has said that only the US can stop Israel attacking the border city of Rafah in Gaza.
I think on behalf of all participants,
what's happening now in Gaza and what will happen in the coming few days is what Israel will do with attacking Rafah. Because all the Palestinians from Gaza are gathered in Rafah, and it's only one small strike that would force them to flee the Gaza Strip. The biggest catastrophe in the history of the Palestinian people would then happen. We hope that Israel stops doing this attack, and we call on the United States of America to ask Israel not to carry on the Rafah attack. Because US is the only country that can prevent Israel from committing this crime.
Abbas reiterated that he rejects the displacement of Palestinians into Jordan and Egypt and said that he is concerned that once Israel completes its operations in Gaza, it will then attempt to force the Palestinian population out of the West Bank and into Jordan. At the summit, Saudi Arabia's foreign minister, Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, met with Secretary General of the Executive Committee of the Palestine Liberation Organization and also Egypt's foreign minister. Meanwhile, America's top diplomat Antony Blinken is set to visit Saudi Arabia, and this will be Blinken's fifth visit to Saudi Arabia since last October. According to the U.S. State Department, Blinken will hold talks on Monday and Tuesday with the regional partners as he makes efforts to achieve a ceasefire in Gaza and prevent a larger regional conflict. And our correspondent Jody Cohen tells us more.
So a Hamas official has suggested that they could respond to the latest Israeli proposal for a temporary ceasefire and release of some of the hostages as soon as Monday. Now, the deal would reportedly involve releasing 33 of the 133 remaining hostages being held in Gaza, and they would need to be living hostages and include either women or children or men over the age of 50 or the injured or sick. Now, the last deal took place in November, and since then Hamas has been insisting that the war must end before more hostages would be released, and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has called this delusional. Over the weekend we saw Hamas release a new propaganda video of two of the hostages. That's 46-year-old Omri Miran and 64-year-old Keith Siegel, and that follows a video that was published on Wednesday of Israeli-American hostage Hirsch Goldberg Polin. Now, the video's release suggested that Israelis should pressure the governments to offer more in the hostage talks. Danny Miran, the father of Omri, called on the Hamas head, Yahya Sinwar, to spare bloodshed for both peoples and suggested that the Israeli cabinet would reciprocate, and he called on Netanyahu to approve any deal that's feasible. Israel has called these videos psychological warfare, and they come as the Israel Defense Forces increase their preparations for an operation in Rafah, and Palestinian Authority President Abbas has suggested that we could see a Rafah operation in the coming few days. Now, Israeli Foreign Minister Katz has said that Israel would be prepared to delay the planned Rafah operation to target Hamas in Rafah in exchange for another hostage release deal. But Israel has also said that if Hamas delays its response or rejects the latest proposal, then Israel would move ahead in Rafah.